Hey, everybody. It is Thursday afternoon, which means it is MFSN's weekly strategy show. Normally, Dr. Dan Ratner would be in the hosting seat, but he is dealing with some other things and he couldn't be with us today. So we will carry on without him. I'll be your host today, Kasey Shienvold, and I'm here as always with the most reliable man in fantasy sports, Ross the Boss.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss, and I'm happy to be here today. It's a great Thursday,
It's
my
Groundhog
Bengals,
Day.
even though my Bengals didn't make it to the Super Bowl. It's still a great week. I don't know if you watched the game, Casey. It's very upsetting when the refs decide who wins the game, not the players. Not the players.
I did not get to see the Bengals game. My son had two soccer games that evening, so I was there. It is Groundhog's Day today, so I think I should call you the seer of seers, the prognosticator of prognosticators, which is one of the formal titles of Phil from Puxatawney here in Pennsylvania. So you can predict the future. Do you want to talk Super Bowl first? Do you want to talk?
We'll talk Super Bowl. Next week we'll talk more in depth on it because as you know, this week is. God, I'm so excited for the skills competition in NFL football. It's going to be great. I can't wait to watch that tonight. It's going to be unbelievable. And then Sunday, flag football on national television. Kasey Shienvold, Vlad to the bone.
It's a whole new world.
Great TV. I can't wait.
I didn't check how many people opted out of the Pro Bowl because of injury. Isn't there usually like 50%?
Well, I got to give you a clue. We're down to Derek Carr has been named a replacement in the Pro Bowl.
The man with no team is a replacement.
Derek Carr has been named a replacement. That's not a joke. In the Pro Bowl, it's not a joke. I don't know. Does anybody even watch the Pro Bowl anymore? I mean, I remember growing up, they played it in Hawaii. The players got to tackle. There was no really rules were the same as they played during the season. The players didn't do anything cheap. The running backs went down quickly, so the wide receivers, but there were no rules. Now it's like we're down to flag football. I mean, that's what we're down to.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's also isn't it the only all-star competition in the major sports that's not in the middle of the season?
That's good. Well, it is still football season technically.
No, but I mean, baseball is in July.
Oh, hockey! The hockey All-Star games this weekend also. Kasey Shienvold.
Right, but the finals aren't until June.
Yeah, and so you have hockey to contend with. I think the hockey stuff is the skills is Saturday and the game is Sunday. So is the NFL. If you want to call it a game, and then the NBA's in next week, right? So
right, so
all this stuff is all the All-Star stuff is in February, except baseball, of course. And I think my favorite All-Star competition, I guess now we're down to I think it's baseball for me.
Yeah, it's the home run derby.
Yeah,
I think that's the most fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess the slam dunk when the best players used to participate in the slam dunk contest back when it was like Vince Carter versus Steve Francis. Do you remember that one? That one was epic.
Oh, Steve Francis, Vince Carter. I mean, even Spud Webb. I mean, those guys were.
I know.
It was the best.
Dominique
Wilkins and Michael Jordan. I mean, now it's like players I never heard of, and they even got a guy from the G League. Who supposed to be a great? I mean, this guy's a great dunker. It's not no joke, but it's just like the guy from the G League.
The big names. So and with the Pro Bowl, like the players playing in the Super Bowl, arguably the two best teams in the league, none of their players participate. No. So you're not even always seeing the best players in the Pro Bowl. So it is much different than the other All-Star competitions, and I think it loses its luster because of it.
I mean, again, no one cares. Well, I don't even know what city is it in Vegas this year? The Pro Bowl for the NFL, or is it?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
It was in Florida. They moved it to Florida, and then they moved it to. I want to say it's in Vegas now. I mean, again, no. I mean,
headed to Vegas. You're right. It's in Vegas.
They moved it to Vegas, which is a smart move because if I was a NFL player and I got a free trip to Vegas, I would. Yeah. It'd be a fun place to party. I agree. 100%.
And fans will flock there because they're like, well, if the game sucks, we'll just hang out in the casino. I mean, Hawaii's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's much harder to get to. And then,
I never heard of fans saying, you know what, I'm not going to go to any playoff games. I want to go to the Pro Bowl this year. I heard the flag football game's fantastic. No one's saying that, Kasey.
It's epic. But
no one cares about this game. What they should just cancel it. The skills competition, no one cares. I'd rather have, You know what I'd rather have them do? Tell me if you like this idea. I'd rather have the professional football players, full pads, everything else, go against the press so they can hit all the press that said bad things about the players during the year. The players can get like revenge and hit these guys like full force. I think I would watch that, Kasey.
No, I think what it should be is all the linemen have to try to kick 45-yard field goals. All the, the line, whatever, make it all the wide receivers have to play offensive and defensive line against each other. I think you just mix
full
it all
steam,
up that way.
like full hit. If
Everything.
they get hurt, they get hurt. If they're out for the next season, they're out for next season. But
Not
that's
my
the
problem.
breaks. Who
That's right.
cares?
Yeah, we have plenty of time to prepare for that for the next fantasy season. So if they get hurt now, it's better than if they get hurt in season. So, pitchers and not to switch sports, but pitchers and catchers report next week. So fantasy baseball is going to be in full steam here.
Yeah,
in a week.
I've been studying baseball the past couple of weeks, and you know what I realized? And tell me and you could tell me your opinion too. But who is your? There's no like clear number one pick in baseball. If you're doing a redraft league and you got the first pick, there's a lot of options. That you can do. Obviously, I don't think you should go pitcher. That's me. You should go with a player that can steal bases, hit home runs, and of course get RBIs. But there's no like clear cut number one guy. Do you feel there is? See, there's not. If you had to stop right there and say, "Well, you're mean,"
I think if you could own Shohei Ohtani once and he play both offense and defense for you, I think he becomes your number one. If he could pitch and play the position, instead of having to own two separate Ohtanis, I think that would be number one. I think Trey Turner and Ronald Acuna to me are kind of the
Turner
closest.
Okay, let me just tell you about Trey Turner real quick. He signed with? He was traded or signed with?
Signed with the Phillies.
He signed with the Phillies. So the Phillies lineup is pretty good. They have Bryce.
Yeah, Harper's going to be hurt until the middle of the season, but
so Bryce is hurt, which I read. So Trey Turner, his lineup he's playing in is good. Yeah. So he's up there in years. He's in his. I want to say he's 30 or 31. So age-wise, he's not the guy like Juan Soto or a person like that.
Yeah, Trey Turner is 29 years old, so he'll turn
29.
30.
He'll be 30 during the season. So your guy, I'm not disagreeing. I think Trey Turner you can't go wrong picking him as number one. I think another guy is Aaron Judge is a number one guy also, just because of the year he had last year and the RBIs and even stolen bases. He had 18 stolen bases. It's not bad.
No.
Not bad at all, not bad. So, and he hits for average. Aaron Judge has many pluses. Plus, his lineup he plays in Yankee Stadium, which is a good place to play.
Well, so is Citizens Park for Trey Turner.
Yeah. So those are two number one picks. Either one you're okay with. Anybody else that you think could be a number one pick?
I think Acuna could be in Atlanta if he's. Because let's be honest, he's a power speed guy who can hit for average. But he has some of the injury stuff. The two and this speaks to the fact that there's not a consensus number one.
There is not.
I also like Jose Ramirez. The guy just puts up numbers in Cleveland and
monster
over and over and over again. And he plays third base, which isn't a very deep position. And the lottery ticket guy, the guy who could be, the Fernando Tatis of 2 years ago before he got hurt and in trouble, is Julio Rodriguez in Seattle. The guy is just his ceiling is immense, but it's only going to be his second year. And can he repeat on what he did?
I think he's a good second rounder. I don't know if he's a first round pick this year. It'd be interesting where he goes. We'll find more in the next couple
of weeks. The first 6 or 7 picks.
Oh, you think so? I don't have him that high. I have him in the top 20, but not in the top 10. Absolutely not. Let's talk pitchers.
Okay.
Pitching place. It's a lot of the older guys are ranked high.
Yeah, I know. You got like the Jacob deGroms and
you got Max, you got Jacob, you got Max, you got Jacob, you got Justin. You got a lot of old arms. Even Wainwright is good. You got to like him too. It's like all these old guys. Do you feel comfortable taking like a Justin Verlander in the second or third or first round? Would you do something like
No,
that?
I don't think I would take him in the second or I
How about
think
Scherzer?
Scherzer to me is I don't know, somewhere around the end of the third round pick.
Okay.
I think my top pitcher to take would be the only the only two I would consider in the first round, I think, are probably Garrett Cole and Corbin Burns. Sandy Alcantara is insane, and he could sneak in there if he's strong again in the spring.
Topping a guy that gets no press. I mean, no one talks about Sandy at all.
Cy Young winner. He won the Cy Young.
I know that, but if you go up to 100 baseball fans and ask them who won the Cy Young in the National League last year, I would say 10% would say Sandy.
Yeah, but he's crazy good, and I'm concerned about Jacob deGrom going to Texas in that ballpark. You've actually been to that ballpark for the World Series a couple years ago. Does it feel like it's going to be is it a hitter's park or pitcher's park? What's it like?
It's a big ballpark, but it's built for hitters. I mean, it's a big place. But again, everything in Texas is big, right? Right, Kasey Shienvold. So
I haven't been.
So it's definitely not a pitcher's ballpark. Hitters go there to hit. But again, deGrom, it's his health. It's not his arm. When he's healthy, he's good. He's great.
Yeah, I know.
But he gets hurt every year. He gets hurt. He's on the DL every year. And
I mean, you're for those of you watching, we have our own keeper league that we both participate in. And I'm assuming you're keeping one of the kind of best stories in baseball last year as far as pitchers, and somebody who's going to be a sneaky pick in that second or third round this year, I think, and that's Spencer Strider.
I mean, Spencer was a rookie last year, and he throws heat. I mean, this guy his
strikeout numbers were insane.
He's a flamethrower, Kasey Shienvold. This guy throws a lot of heat. Plays in Atlanta. Atlanta is not a hitter's ballpark as much as everybody thinks. Pitchers like pitching there.
He struck out 202 batters in 132 innings.
Yeah. No, he's the real. This guy's the real deal. I mean, I picked him up. I think I picked him up on waivers, like in our league, like at the beginning of the year. I knew he was good. I saw him pitch.
My gosh.
And he's one of the keepers. I'm keeping Logan Webb, and I'm also keeping Alex, the pitcher for Toronto, Alex
for Toronto.
Manano. How do you say his name, Kasey?
Oh, Manoah. Alec.
Thank you.
Yeah, Alec Manoah.
So I'm keeping those three for my pitching, and then I'm keeping three hitters. I'm keeping Olsen. I'm keeping this guy named Aaron Judge.
He's not bad.
He's okay. And then I'm keeping Bogarts for San Diego.
Yeah, now he's in San Diego.
So those are my six. Those are six I'm keeping this year. I'm not going to keep any relief pitchers. I kept Tater last year, and
unfortunately, I'm in a position where I have to keep a relief pitcher this year.
I'm not keeping any relief pitchers, and I suggest no one does. I think it's a big mistake because relief pitchers you can pick up during the season. You can pick up during a draft. They're not that hard to pick up, and whoever's relieving now is not going to be relieving in August. So there you go.
Yeah. My keepers took a hit this year because Walker Buehler was one of my top pitcher keepers, and he's Tommy John out for the year.
Yeah.
Tyler Glasnow, Tommy John.
I love Tyler too. Isn't he coming back? I thought he's coming back this year.
He's coming back this year, but probably not until May or June.
Because I thought he pitched in October or September.
He did a little bit, but I mean, he might be back for opening day. I don't know. What last I read was he's still struggling with his control. So,
I'm excited. I mean, we got spring training coming up in a few weeks. Also, it starts the last week of February. As you know, it's going to be a very exciting time in baseball. We have a lot of great players that are going to be healthy and ready to go. Yeah. And as we know, everybody has hopes in the beginning of baseball season. Everybody's team is tied for first, and everybody thinks they have a chance. And when May rolls around, you find out if your team's good or bad. So there you go.
One of the guys I'm excited about is I think could have a breakout year this year is one of your guys is a Cincinnati Red.
Which one?
Nick Lodolo, I think, is going to be a stud this year. The pitcher.
He was the pride of our minor leagues for a long time. I hope you're right. He has a lot of potential.
His problem is I think he struggles with his control a little bit, hitting 19 batters last year. But I mean, he's this huge, gigantic left-hander who throws the ball hard and then has this power curve. But I could see him over 200 strikeouts, throwing for closer to 175 innings or so. I really like
Listen,
him.
if you're a pitcher in the Reds organization and you're a starter, you have a great chance of making ball club. That's all I got to say.
What are your thoughts on, is it Hunter Green? Is he the pitcher?
Hunter Green, he went to high school at Notre Dame High, right down the street from my house. I saw him pitch in high school in Kasey. No joke. There were like 20 people with those speed guns right behind home plate, like 20 scouts. All, I was right there. I went to some of his games right down the street. And 101, 102, 101, 101. I mean, every pitch, they writing everything down. And then he played shortstop when he wasn't pitching, and he throwing BBs at the first baseman, and he was hitting home runs in these games too. I mean, this guy was an unbelievable player. He was he could play shortstop too if he wanted to in major leagues, but his dad wanted to play pitcher. If Hunter can stay healthy and he gets his head on straight, I mean, he could have a huge year. I mean, he had some great games for the Reds. The problem with him is it's where he puts the ball. If he put a fastball right down the middle, a major league hitter can take it 400 feet because
almost every time, right?
Yeah, you can't place the ball right down the middle in Major League Baseball. You'll get killed. And you got to change speeds like more than once in a bat. You just can't go fastball. It doesn't work in Major League Baseball. In high school, it does. If you want to throw a fastball, 100 miles an hour fastball with high school kids, you'll have a lot of strikeouts. But Hunter Green is the pride of the pitching department for the Cincinnati Reds this year. Hopefully he'll stay healthy, and hopefully he'll have a great year. I'm very excited about Hunter Green.
So who are you most excited to watch this year?
I'm excited for Tatis and Soto to come back. I'm excited for Tatis to be back after 20-something games, right, Case? Is that what it is? He has 20 games left.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere the middle to end of April.
So I'm excited I'm not a Padre fan, but I'm excited to watch those two guys play and bat back to back because they'll feed off each other. I mean, Soto and Tatis, it's like a dream team. I'm sure they knew each other when they were, younger because they're about the same age. And I'm sure they played on teams together before. But to have them together in San Diego, I mean, that's a team you got to reckon with, especially you can't pitch around one and not pitch around the other. It's going to be
right. And then you have Machado and Bogarts waiting for you if you pitch around.
Yeah, Machado, Bogarts, and then they have they signed somebody else too who can hit. But the Padres have a really good lineup. The ballpark is a pitcher's park, as we know. It's not a hitter's park at all. I've been to that ballpark many times, and it's not a place. If I was a hitter, I would not want to play there just because you're not going to. The ball does not fly out of there like it does in Colorado or Dodger Stadium. But I mean, I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see. I'm also excited to see the Mets play. I think the Mets improved their team a lot, especially in the pitching. I want to see what Verlander does in New York. He'll be 40 years old. It'd be interesting what he does.
They also didn't they sign a Japanese pitcher too who's supposed
they signed they signed a Japanese a few Japanese pitchers signed around the league. Actually, there was a few guys that signed around. I think the White Sox got a guy. I mean, there were a few international signings. It should be interesting. I always feel those Japanese pitchers can be really good. I mean, you know what I mean? It's
pitchers tend to do better coming over than the hitters do.
Yeah, they really do. Even the Korean pitchers, I like them too. I think they always, these guys have that sidearm, and they throw this crazy junk. I mean, they can't even come close to hitting. It should be again, that's what you see in spring training. Some of these international guys have to prove themselves, and you really see some nasty stuff if you ever go to any spring training games, which I actually go to. I go to Arizona every year, and this year it should be normal, because I don't think there's mask requirements. I think everything's back to normal again, which is great. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, but it should be a great year, and then we got with the Super Bowl coming up. It's a lot of a lot of hype's going to happen next week. We'll see, media day on Tuesday, and then Wednesday. It's everything's going to build up to Sunday. It's going to be a fun week next week. This week's kind of a quiet week. The only thing that happened big was yesterday. Monday was Tom Brady saying he's retiring.
And then Robert Kraft quickly saying, "I want to sign him to a one-day contract so he can retire as a Patriot."
I think that's a class move. I mean,
I think it should. How much do you think? I think that he'll pay Brady for that one-day contract.
But then I read, I don't know if you read this, he made $330 million as a football player in his career.
Yeah.
He's going to make $370 million as a broadcaster, a 10-year contract with Fox. So he'll make a lot more money.
Has that already been signed?
I believe it's signed. I was talking to somebody, they said it's not, but I thought he signed it last year. I mean, you can look it up, but I thought that the deal's $370 million for 10 years. I believe he signed it. Yeah.
Okay. Good for him.
I mean, amazing career. He record holder that records will never be broken. He's that good. He's going to.
Oh yeah, he's going to.
He's definitely the GOAT. Anybody wants to argue with me, I'd be happy to do it. I mean, people mention Montana. People mention other quarterbacks. They can't compete with Tom Brady. Stop.
It is difficult to.
But I mean, I thought that was big. Aaron Rodgers is causing waves right now. They definitely don't want him back, and he definitely doesn't want to be back. He's buying a new house. He put his house up for sale up in Wisconsin, and they asked him where he's moving to. He says, "I'm moving to next to my dear friend Devontae Adams." That's where he's moving to Vegas, supposedly. I don't know.
Oh, there's no state tax there. I guess he's doing it for money. He's always been. He just strikes me as a curmudgeon. Like he just strikes me like a grumpy old man most of the time.
I think he's. You can't figure the guy out. I mean, most people. You can't. I mean,
he came in with a chip on his shoulder because he was overlooked by so many teams on draft day, and he's played with it ever since. Like he's never let go of it, even though he's like a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah. I mean, top 10 all time. I mean, Aaron Rodgers in my book. I mean, the guy is great. I know he only won one Super Bowl, but it doesn't matter. The guy is just a great competitor. I mean, he's great. And I think he'll definitely he's not retiring. First of all, there's no way he's retiring after that season that happened last year. There's no way. He's definitely going to be playing next year, and I'm not quite sure where, but if I had to guess, I would say either Vegas or maybe he'll go to Atlanta, maybe, or somewhere down there that somebody that
he'll want to go somewhere that has a chance to win.
Yeah, it's true. And then I read that
laughing at me, but I think it's the Jets.
Oof.
They already have a championship caliber defense. You look at that team, and their defense is legit. They've got receivers. They've got running backs. If they draft an offensive lineman and get an above-average tight end, and not that Conklin was anything.
The Jets is a good call. I also read that
the AFC East isn't a juggernaut.
Would you sign Dak Prescott to a 10-year deal if you were the Dallas Cowboys?
10 years? No.
They're talking about extending his contract. They want him to be the quarterback. This has come from Jerry Jones' son, Stephen Jones, that he wants Dak to be the quarterback for the Cowboys for the next 10 years. And I just feel 10 years is way too long. I think Dak has not proved to anybody that he's a winner at all. I just feel he's mediocre at best. He has good games and bad games. I don't feel the playoffs he doesn't really shine that well. Kasey Shienvold.
Yeah, he's very streaky.
It's streaky. There's no streak in the playoffs. He's done nothing. And all these great quarterbacks are coming out of college in the next couple of years too. And if I was an NFL team, I would try to center around Khalid Williams. That's who I would try to get. I would try to figure that out. But if you can't get him, you got some other really good quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud, and and you got the kid from Alabama. I mean, you got some really good
Levis.
People coming out, and then the next few years. So I don't know why people want to put these quarterbacks on these 10-year, 5-year contracts. I think it's the dumbest thing you can do with your organization because you lock up all that money. There's not guaranteed these guys will be any good, except exceptions, of course, Kasey, Shienvold. But it's just I don't know. I just think a 10-year deal for Dak Prescott's a waste of money. What do you think?
Depends on how much is guaranteed. It depends at what point they can cut him without it being a cap casualty. And what it's hit against the cap. I mean, if you can sign him to a 10-year deal, but cut him after 3 or 5 without, have a free out I don't know how the contracts are all structured, but that would be to me the ideal. I mean, then you could say, sure, we'll sign you to 10 years, but it's really a 3-year deal.
I guess, but so you'll see a lot of stuff's going to happen in the off season with a lot of NFL teams. The Denver Broncos actually signed up a new coach, Sean Payton.
Yeah, he's somebody I heard of. What did they have to give to New Orleans for him?
I didn't hear that part. Look it up real quick. Tell me what it says. But I mean, Sean Payton is a good coach. I don't think he'll make a huge difference in Denver. I mean, I don't think Denver's that great of a team. I don't believe in Russell Wilson anymore. I think he's way over his prime, and he proved it last year. The Broncos, I think they'll improve. I don't know if they're a playoff caliber team quite yet, but we'll see. But so they did have their.
Denver is sending their 2023 first round pick from San Francisco, number 30 overall, and a 2024 second round pick. And
a lot of draft picks for a coach, but I guess it's worth it, right?
They get back Peyton and a 2024 third round pick. Is it worth it? Well, it worked for Tampa Bay when they did that with John Gruden. So
yeah,
there's not a lot of history of trading for a coach.
No, it happens once every like Haley's comment. It happens once every 10 years. It doesn't happen that often.
76 years, 10 years. What's the difference?
Close enough, Kasey Shienvold. But it's again, NFL. You don't see NFL news like that. How does it affect your fantasy team with Peyton as your coach? I think it helps if you have any Denver Broncos in your dynasty
I have
leagues.
Cortland Sutton. I have if you have one of their running backs.
They have Williams, who's supposed to be healthy starting in August. They're the guy that got hurt last year, who had ACL surgery. I think he's back. Yep, he's back. Cortland Sutton. I mean, they're going to do some damage fantasy wise. And Peyton he's an offensive minded guy.
Yeah.
I mean, look what he did with Drew Brees. I mean, he was great. So you'll see anything's better than Hackett. I mean, Hackett was just destroyed that team. Horrible. During the season, he did horrible things with the time, with the clock and timeouts. He was just an idiot. I don't know how he kept his job that long. Good move, Denver, getting Peyton. He'll improve that team. They'll get 3 more. I bet they win 10 games next season. They could make the playoffs. We'll see what happens.
That's a big ask from where they were.
I kind of like their defense is okay. Their offensive line's pretty good. They'll be okay, Kasey Shienvold. They'll be good.
Yeah.
I think with Peyton there, he'll put some structure in there. He'll get those guys, ready to play every week. And then a lot of interviews going on with a lot of players. A lot of Indianapolis hasn't figured out who they're hiring yet.
The Senior Bowl is this week too, so now we're getting a lot of stuff on these lesser known players.
The Shrine Game, the Senior Bowl, you'll see. I mean, again, no one watches these games. I mean, no one cares about the Senior Bowl. No one cares about the Shrine Game. No one cares about any of this East versus West. I mean, any of this college all-star stuff. No one cares. But people do like the combines on the NFL Network. I do like the combines also. I do watch the combines. I like watching the 40-yard. I like watching all that stuff. I think it's fun. But watching these all-star games and stuff, it's just, it's kind of useless. You don't really get a sense how good people are.
I don't really enjoy that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather watch your kid's soccer game between you and I. Hopefully they'll win.
They did win, so it was good. Both their games.
Oh, good. Perfect. Yeah, great. And then we got NBA. NBA is almost at mid-season. The Lakers played the Knicks this week? What week? Yeah, this week. And the Lakers actually won. And your guy Daniel Jones was there in attendance, which is,
Yay.
he was. I saw him and I said, "Hey, is that Kasey?" No, it's Daniel Jones.
No, the resemblances are uncanny.
You do have the resemblance is there. I gotta admit, it's no joke. The resemblance is there. You guys both have that. I don't know, the Eastern European look. I can't describe it, but it's not a dish. It's a compliment, Kasey. But NBA's in full swing. But I really don't believe the players really try until the playoffs start. I mean, that's me. Lillard's putting up huge games. Damian Lillard looks unbelievable.
Yeah, what did he put up 47 last night or something?
And LeBron's going to break the Kareem's record. In LA, Kasey, they sold a ticket to a game. The Lakers are playing courtside. Supposedly it's going to be the game when he breaks the record. Guess how much money somebody paid for a ticket?
For a courtside seat?
To watch LeBron break the record.
$50,000.
$100,000.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't Dr. Dan Ratner that paid for it. Trust me. I mean,
it wasn't.
That guy's not shelling out any money for anything. Trust me.
No, he's a LeBron fan, but he's a practical one. So
yeah, $100,000 people are paying. You're not even guaranteed he'll break the record that night. It's just
he might just say, I'm going to rest.
I mean, the thing is, these people are excited and they're paying big money. They want him to see him break it. He could break it that night. The guy bought a ticket for, but there's a chance he might not.
Yeah.
But again, there's going to be a lot of coverage. You'll see. Hopefully, Kareem will come out and watch his record be broken. Maybe he won't. Kareem's a weird guy. He's just a very private, quiet person. He's never been a guy that likes to make that many public appearances, which is fine. It's he's an older man. He shouldn't be forced to do stuff he doesn't want to do. But you'll be seeing that a lot. You'll be forced to watch Laker games. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, because the Lakers aren't that good of a team.
They're not fun to watch. I mean, but even when they're playing well, they're not fun to watch because it's such a slow-paced LeBron James plodding down, backing the guy down, and either finding a pass or doing a fadeaway. There's not a lot of creativity.
LeBron shoots more threes now than any Laker, I think. I mean, he loves shooting threes. He doesn't like to drive that much anymore. Doesn't want to bang like he used to. But he's still top 5 player. I mean, he's for his age and everything else.
Look, considering how he's been playing since 03 or 04, and I mean, like the guy is in the discussion for the Mount Rushmore of basketball, but he's not fun to watch. I mean, he's amazingly impressive as a player, but it's not a fun. He reminds me a little bit of the way Tim Duncan was. Like Tim Duncan was amazing. Like they called him the big fundamental, right? Because he did everything right, but it was boring basketball.
Oh, he had that same dumb deer with headlights look.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't. LeBron complains every time he goes to the basket. He complains to the ref, which is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, LeBron. Your young kids are watching.
It's funny because, like, I'm a soccer fan, as you know, and soccer players get a bad rap for taking dives and pretending to be hurt and rolling on the ground to draw a penalty when they're barely touched. Basketball, they don't roll around on the ground like they're hurt, but they are like always trying to sell the dramatic. Oh my gosh, he crushed me. I'm lucky to be alive.
LeBron is probably the most guilty player. He complains, he flops, he does everything he can and he doesn't like to be the guy. The thing about LeBron is this: he doesn't like to drive at the end of the game if the game's on the line because he does not want to get to that free throw line. I think he'd rather take a 3-pointer or take a jump shot, but he doesn't want to drive because he'll probably get fouled and then he has to shoot free throws. And he's not. I just don't think he wants to be that guy that misses free throws. I think he'd rather stay away or just dish the ball off to somebody else, which is fine. I get it. I get it, but he has if AD's healthy, and if they got the guy from the Washington Wizards who went to Gonzaga, Hashimura, they got him on the team now, who's playing pretty well. So the Lakers are okay, but I kind of root against them. I don't want them to make the playoffs.
I'd much rather watch one of the kind of maybe more inconsistent but more exciting younger teams. Like
I'd rather watch your Sixers. I'd rather watch Embiid. I'd rather watch that team. That they're playing great basketball.
or you got like Ja Morant in Memphis, or you got like these guys who
Jason Tatum. You got
hell,
Morant. You got
yeah.
Luka. I mean, you got so many players under 25.
Cleveland has a lot of exciting young players on it.
I mean,
so,
Luka's under 25. Jason Tatum's
Luka's
under
crazy.
Jason Tatum's under 25.
Yeah.
John Morant's under 25. I mean, they've got so many great players under 25 years old. It's unbelievable how great these guys are at that age. I mean, if I had to vote for the MVP right now, Kasey, I know people like Joker, but I would take Luka. That's me. Just because I think I just don't think Dallas can win without him. I think Denver can win without Joker.
They can't win a lot without Joker, but
not a lot. But I think without Luka, I think Dallas is completely lost. I mean, he didn't play one game last week and they got crushed. I mean, you're not going to win without Luka. I mean, he's that good. Plus,
I also think SGA is having a great year. Just Alexander in Oklahoma City. I mean,
we're in a basketball league together, and you have him on your team.
I know, and I'm still terrible because I don't have anybody else. But he's averaging 30 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, a block.
Should we talk about the trade offer I made to you today in our fantasy basketball league?
Did you? I haven't even looked. Let me check it.
So I made Kasey. I made you an offer. It's not. I don't want you going, oh my God, I can't get rid of all these great players. I'm offering you good players.
You are offering me good players.
I mean, it's not lopsided. So tell us the trade. Tell us what I offered. Tell everybody your opinion. I want to hear it from you right now, Kasey, for the first time. Go.
All right. Well, I received a trade offer from King James.
That's because I have
James. Because he has LeBron on his team. No, it makes sense. I'm not knocking that. He is offering some pretty big names. Steph Curry, I think
who's the best three-pointer, probably an all-time GOAT shooting three-pointers. Okay, keep going.
Paul George.
Paul George, when he's healthy, he's top 10 player, can do everything. Yep.
Nicholas Claxton.
Claxton's having a great year. In fantasy-wise, he's a great player, but the reason why I put him in there because I want your center, obviously.
He's asking for this young man named what is it? I'm going to try to pronounce it here. Nikola Jokic. Is that right?
Nikola Jokic, who's arguably MVP candidate.
Paolo Banchero, the rookie from Duke who plays for
Rookie from Duke. He's not the caliber of Paul George. I don't care what you say, but keep going.
And then Anthony Simons from Portland. Who's playing really, really well right now.
Yeah.
So he is offering me currently, if you look at what they're averaging on the season, Steph Curry is ranked 37th in the league.
Yeah.
Based on, that's the last 30 days. Let's go for the whole season. Here we go. Steph Curry is ranked 13th.
Right.
Claxton is ranked 26th.
Yep.
And Paul George is ranked 42nd.
Paul George has been hurt a little bit.
So they're all top 50 players.
Top 50. Okay. Now
and he's only asking, Paolo Banchero isn't ranked in the top 50. He's ranked 150. He has been struggling because his field goal percentage is only like 42%. Anthony Simons is top 50. He's 50th right now.
Yep.
And Nikola Jokic is the number 1 player in fantasy sports.
Number 1. So it's not a crazy offer. I just, think about me with fantasy basketball is this, and you're in the same category. It's not for me. It's not football. It's not baseball. It's basketball. So I just like to mix my team up once in a while and have fun and root for other players. That's what the truth is.
Right. No, it's not an unfair trade. And I'm looking at it, and obviously, Claxton, his blocks are crazy, right? He has like
Claxton's going to fill that hole for you for Joker,
just for blocks, nothing else.
His rebounds aren't bad either, so keep going.
He has 60 less rebounds than Jokic on the year.
Okay, fine.
He has 500 less points.
He's not a big scorer.
He shoots 47% from the free throw line versus 83%. But his field goal percentage is better. He's just taken 300 less shots.
Right. He dunks a lot, actually.
Steph Curry is awesome. Shoots 49% from the floor, 92% from the free throw line. He has 178 3-pointers made to 175 actually for Anthony Simons. So Simons is shooting the three and has scored just as many points as Steph Curry, but he's played 13 more games. He doesn't rebound as well as Curry. He doesn't assist as well as Curry. He steals about the same, blocks about the same, turnovers about the same. So it is not an unfair trade offer. Banchero is not nearly as good as Paul George. That's where I'm winning hand over fist.
What's the reason? I'm just trying to throw something in there that maybe you'll consider. That's all.
Yeah, I know. No, I get it. My biggest concern is Curry and George have played like 15 less games than the others. And I don't know if it's because they're getting rest. I'd have to do some research, or because they get injured a lot.
Well, I think the second half of the season starting up, so these guys aren't going to be vacationing so much anymore. They're going to be playing serious basketball. Going to step it up.
I've struggled since Devin Booker has been hurt for the last.
Devin Booker's coming back next week.
Right.
They say by February 7th they're playing Brooklyn that night, and they say by the 7th he'll be back on the floor. So there you go.
That will be nice.
I have him in a couple other basketball leagues. And
Ross, I am not going to reject it outright. Let me look it over.
Look it over. Kasey Shienvold, he's thinking about it. I'm not giving these stupid offers like half the guys do in our league.
Yeah, some of them are horrible. Like
it's just embarrassing.
Offering me like three when I had last year, I had what's his face, Luka. And some of the offers I got for Luka were crazy.
Oh, it's like three mediocre players from what?
Three bench players. Like they weren't even like full-time starters. It's nuts.
Oh, I agree.
So
that's our basketball. If you guys have any questions on fantasy basketball, even hockey,
baseball starting, if you want to know about what we think about
we'll go over some prop bets next week. I'll go over the prop bets that I'm going to bet on. Just for fun. They're not real bets. They're fake bets. Fake bets. Not real. Just mentally bets. Just going over the sheets of all the crazy prop bets.
If we were bettors, what we thought looked nice or not nice.
Exactly. I mean, there are some like crazy. There's 270 prop bets in NFL football for the Super Bowl. 270. I mean, remember like 10 years ago, there was like 10, coin flip, first penalty, first to score,
first touchdown. Who's going to be winning
first
at
touchdown?
halftime?
Now it's like 270 things. I mean, what possibly can you bet on? What color underwear I have on? I mean,
how many yards the first sack is going to lose? How many?
We'll find out. Sack? We'll find out next week. I'll go over some of them, and we'll just make some fake bets. But we'll have fun with it. I mean, it's like I just can't believe all these crazy betting props. It's insane.
We are a degenerate nation of gamblers. What can I say?
It is because of DraftKings and all those other legal ways to bet. It's very easy to bet now compared to it was 10 years ago. You can just use your phone and bet. There's no
the World Wide Web at your fingertips. All right, Ross. Wait. I think a prop bet last year. This is by Cagenomics. Hey, Cagenomics, welcome back. I think a prop bet last year was whether or not a singer was going to wear sunglasses.
Well, we're going to find out next week.
Last year's halftime show is going to be hard to beat.
I don't tell me what it was. I don't remember.
Eminem, and remember they brought back all like the '90s rappers.
Oh yeah, they had that cool set.
Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, and they had that set that had like two levels. It was pretty cool. You're right. I remember that. That was terrific.
Yeah, I don't know what I think one of the bets, Cagenomics, should be what Rihanna's hairstyle is going to be. Like how many different.
The thing is, I mean, can't like inside information find that information out? I mean, aren't there people that work for her or whatever?
I'm sure.
She does not. I mean, my buddy. I mean, if she has a friend that lives in Vegas, can't they make a bet for? It's like
who's going to throw the first challenge flag? Like, there's going to be prop bets for everything.
No, Kasey, 270 prop bets. 270.
I heard you.
There's, I told you it's insane what's going on now, and it's going to be fun. It should be fun going over some of these prop bets. It's going to be great.
Well, I'm excited about that. This weekend, there's not a lot to watch. We talked about it. There's the Pro Bowl and the NHL All-Star Game. If you want to tune in, that'd be great. I'm probably not going to be. I'll be at soccer fields and basketball courts watching
soccer fields, signing autographs, yelling at kids, getting in fights with parents,
yelling at 13-year-old girls and getting ugly looks,
yelling at parents, getting in fist fights. It's going to be great, Kasey Shienvold. I can't wait to see you on the news. It's going to be unbelievable.
Go ahead. And what?
Got college basketball, Kasey. March Madness is only a month away. How about that?
And no number one team no top 5 team can seem to be winning with any consistency right now. Once they get up there, Tennessee lost last night. They were ranked 2nd. Purdue is ranked number 1 for the 2nd time, I think, this season. So
Purdue, Houston was number 1. They lost. Purdue lost. It is no clear number 1. Duke's not even in the top 10 anymore. The college basketball is in disarray.
My Terps are a couple years away, so they have a new coach we're excited about. So
you and I in the past have done very well in our NCAA pool. We
usually finish 1st and 2nd, don't we?
Yeah, we do very well. We always pick the winner.
I finished 2nd twice, and 2nd doesn't pay. So you took all the money.
But this year I don't see there won't be consistent like number 1 team people are going to take this year. It's going to be all over the place. I mean, people are going to take teams from all different conferences. It's not going to be the ACC and Big Ten anymore. It's going to be all different conferences. It'd be crazy stuff going. I don't even like Gonzaga this year. I don't think they're that good. They lost to somebody beat they lost to Santa Clara last week. I mean, that's who
Steve
Gonzaga
Nash,
lost
baby.
to.
Is Steve Nash the most famous basketball player to come out of Santa Clara?
Kurt Rambis.
Rambis is more famous than Steve Nash?
No, but Rambis was one of my favorite players back in the 80s.
He had the whole porn stash going and all that stuff.
The stash. He had the Superman glasses. He was a rib protector. He knew his role.
He was the classic elbow and knee pad type of basketball.
Oh, he was so much fun. They don't have players like that anymore. He was a role player and he knew his role and he made a living off it. Good for him.
So, all right, Ross. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for today. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. I'll see everybody on Tuesday at 3:00 Pacific, 6:00 Eastern time.
Yes.
Kasey and I will be there.
We will be there to talk about the Super Bowl.
NFL props and Super Bowl exclusively next week.
And we'll wrap up. If there's anything exciting that's happened over the weekend, we'll talk about that too. And as always, bring us your questions. We'd love to talk about whatever you guys bring to us, as long as it's somewhat sports related. If it's a little tangential, we're okay, but we still want to stick around sports. We're an entertainment show as much as we are trying to provide you with good information. So whatever will entertain you, we're willing to entertain. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and we will see you next week.